welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I will be asking the spirit what your life purpose is, and so I will be channeling directly from the source, and I will also be consulting the cards, and so this will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, and this will be group number 4. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose whatever pile speaks to you. And so let's proceed to the reading. So group number 1, you chose this peridot, and so I will start with channeled message, and then I will proceed to the cards. And so I see that you are very creative, so I think your life purpose is something to do with, well, something creative. And so for some of you, I think you could actually be really good animators or graphic designers. I think for some of you are destined to create cartoons and comics. For some reason I heard the word whimsical, so I think you have a very whimsical mind, and so I think you can actually allow people access into your world through your art. You can show people a new perspective. I think you are great at aesthetics, and so your life purpose could be something in the line of like design, and maybe also like makeup artist, or even hair. I think for some of you, you might be destined to create everyday art. I also think you could have a flair for flowers and maybe flower arrangements, or you could have a lot of plants at home, and so maybe you have green thumbs, and maybe this is also something you could do for a living. I think you could be a Libra or an Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You could also have Libra in your midheaven. You could also be a great architect as well. I think it is very important for you to choose a creative career path, like architecture, design, clothing design, hair design, makeup design, graphic design, maybe even graphic design on posters, like or websites or billboards, but also like framed posters. But I think it could be smart to do one of these things for your everyday job, and as a side hustle, I definitely think you should make comics and animation. Maybe post your animations and comics on Instagram. Maybe you are actually already doing this, and if that is the case, I think you should keep up the good work. I also heard lots of love, so I don't know if that is the name of your it's not likely that it's the name of your Instagram, but maybe it's something. I don't think it's actually in the literal sense. I don't think it is referring to lots of love, like giving a lot of love or something like that. I think it's more like a title of something. I don't know, but I also heard Morph OS, which I believe is a computer operating system. So maybe you are also good at computers. Maybe your life purpose is to create software or something like that. I also heard penguin, and isn't there a penguin on Linux or Linux as well? And so operating systems are coming in quite strongly. So something maybe to do with computers and software. So maybe you're already like, I don't know, it's getting quite nerdy. I don't really, I don't understand much of the things that are coming in. To be honest, I must say I'm not really good at computers or like technology. And I use Microsoft Paint to make my thumbnails, and you know I still haven't figured out how to make my phone record in more than 10 minutes. That's why I keep stopping it in the middle of the video, because it stresses me out that like when the recording gets to like 10 minutes, it stops, and then I have to then it can sorry, I'm rambling about something completely unnecessary. Well, basically, I don't know much about computers or technology, but I think you might, and so that's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome that some people are just good at computers, and so I think you have like a lot of determination, and like also because of the penguin, like the penguin is also about determination and following, like not just following your dreams, but like following a goal all the way through. Like if you have a dream, you are sure that you will actually reach it. You have a way of keeping keeping an eye on the prize at all times, and I think you might actually be good at like you could actually inspire people with this, because you could maybe one day be a lecturer. You might share your experience with maybe with young people, like maybe you will inspire young people to follow their dreams and reach their goals. And I also think like maybe you will become a business owner or self-employed, and then maybe you will share your experience with others about that. And so but let's draw some cards. So your first card is the Hanged Man. The second card is Temperance. The third card is Knave of Swords. And your fourth card is Five of Batons, which is Five of Wands. And so what I see here for you guys, I think with the Hanged Man, I think this might be referring to what I was talking about before. This you have a special perception of the world. You have your own unique perception of the world, and you can create this new perspective for others. I think you could be like you have a very unique inner world. You have created like a world inside your mind. You could also be a good writer. Maybe you can. I actually think you could write children's books or fantasy books, but it could also be um, a bit more philosophical works you could do. I think you could do both actually, and you might actually do both like children's books and also books for adults. And so I think also with the temperance here, I think the temperance is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is in the ninth house, and so you might also have much ninth house energy. Maybe you even have a ninth house stellium. You might also be be quite curious. You might actually have sorry have a lot of different fields of interest. Sorry, yeah, I need to stop. Sorry. And so I think you might have a lot of different different fields of interest. I think you are really curious about a lot of things. You love to start new things and new experiences, and you probably always have had an interest and curiosity for everything. You might have like you might have had a hard time choosing one career path because you can find something interesting in a single field there is, and I think this is also what makes your perception so unique. You can see the interesting thing in everything. You can see something interesting in everything. So maybe you use that in your comics and your animations because you can take something very ordinary and maybe also a bit dull or boring and see something funny and interesting out of it. And you could also be a good journalist. Like you could because you might be able to find a good story everywhere. And so with this card here, this came up in a previous reading also, and I pronounced that very wrong, and I still don't know how to pronounce it, but Ogier could be a Ogier or Ogier or O'Shea or Ogier or something like that. Sorry, I don't know, but and in my previous reading I talked about Ogier the Dane because it says Ogier, of course, and so Ogier the Dane is a sculpture, and maybe you should do sculptures. I also talked about how the spelling of Ogier reminded me a bit of ogre, and that made me think of Shrek, the animation film Shrek. Sorry, I can't pronounce anything right now. So and so maybe that is another hint that you should do. Should be doing animations, but it's also the page of swords, of course, and so I also think for some of you your creative mind is not only brilliant in artistic careers, it will also be able to unfold in a field like maybe philosophy, where creative thinking is valued, but I bet this is also valuable in IT and technology. I think all fields can really benefit from someone who thinks outside the box. I think sometimes we have this misconception that IT, technology, math, and physics are only for the people who think inside the box, and maybe intuitive people don't choose those fields because they believe their strengths are more in the arts, but really there is a big need for intuitive people in those fields, because these people have sort of different way of perceiving things, and so there's a need for whimsical minds everywhere, and so maybe you are, or but I think you would be happier taking a Bachelor of Arts, which of course could be anything, like from philosophy to literature to religion to linguistics, and but like I think you could excel in both arts and science. I think you are really smart with the Knave of Swords. You are curious. You ask a lot of questions, and so I think, but I think you would be more happy in arts. And you could also have a mystical side to you. I think you might be interested in more mystical or occult philosophy. You might also be spiritual or religious. Like I actually heard Hare Krishna, and so that may be significant for maybe one of you. But as also with the Five of Wands here, I think you will challenge people's perception of the world, and I think every time we challenge the status quo, we will be met with a lot of disagreement and critique, and so I think your unique perception of the world will be loved by many, but also hated by some, and the people who think differently will always face this problem. There will always be the people who understands them and the people who don't. And but there is a great need for people like you in the world, because it is people like you who think differently who will change the world. And so that's what I see for you, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate all your support, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Group number 2, you chose this new might, and I will start with a channeled message, and then I will proceed to the cards. And so I think you might be a very caring and helpful and loving person. I think you have a very beautiful energy to you, and I think people sense your energy a lot. I don't think you might not be the type who says very much. You might be a person of few words, but people can still sense your energy. They know you have good intentions, and so I think people trust you almost instantly, and that is a very valuable trait as a nurse, for example, and or a caretaker. And so also for some of you, I think you might be interested in dermatology or cosmetology. Maybe you had acne as a teenager, and maybe you would be really good at treating patients with skin disorders because you understand what they are going through, and you might also have had, well, you might have had a lot of experience with different treatments yourself, and so maybe you have gathered quite a lot of knowledge throughout the years that would come in handy if you chose to pursue a career in skincare. I also heard tango, so maybe you are or would be a great dancer. Maybe that's also what I picked up on before. Maybe you don't express yourself with words a lot, but you might be really good at expressing yourself with your body and maybe through dance. And I also think, okay, so I heard February and March, and so maybe there will happen something significant in those 2 months for you. Maybe you will start a new education or a new job, and I think this will be the right path for you. This will be more in alignment with your life purpose. I also think you might actually be outdoorsy as well. You might like to be out in nature. You might even be sporty. Actually, for some of you, you might start a business where you organize guided tours where people can mountain bike or hike out in nature. I know that might only resonate with like one of you, but that came through. I think you might be a bit of an adrenaline junkie. You might really enjoy high risk and high speed activities. Also, for some of you, you might you might be doing something right now that isn't in complete alignment with your true self. You might be doing something right now that you are doing only to make your parents happy. Maybe you are in school right now studying something that your parents wanted you to study, and you might also be in a field where you only chose it for the money. And so if that's the case, I think you should listen more to your heart. And but let's draw some cards. So the first card is Dancer. So that's very so Dancer is coming through quite strongly. So that's pretty great, actually. That's awesome. So, an Apprentice of Stones, which is Page of Pentacles, I believe. I've been wrong with this deck, so I'm afraid of saying anything with certainty when it comes to this deck. So, and so 2 of Stones in reverse, and which is 2 of Pentacles, sorry, and 3 of Arrows, which is 3 of Wands. And so, okay, so well, Dancer came through. I get a sense that there's there's certainly at least one dancer out there for like in this group. One of you might be a dancer, and it's also the world, which also is confirmation about the travel thing. You maybe when we can all travel freely again, you might actually become a tour guide. You might travel the world. You could also start a blog or something like that, where you share all your experiences with travel and things like that. And so with the Apprentice of Stones, well, this card is usually about education for me, so I think you will take some sort of education, but also this is something with there must be. This is about nature in this deck. Something about growing crops, and so maybe for some of you, you will actually go to like what's it called? Botanical school. Is that a thing? I don't know. Or study agriculture or biology or geology. It might also be your life purpose to live a simple life. Maybe you will have a farm or live off the land. But this could also have something to do with like your interest for skincare. Maybe you will start a natural skincare brand or boutique where you only use organic and natural ingredients. This could also just have to do with, well, it could also just have to do with nursing and healing, because the person is healing a dying plant. And so I think it's quite likely that you will be a nurse or a doctor. But so with the Two of Stones reversed, I think your life purpose might also be to save resources and to not waste resources. Maybe this will also be a part of your blog. Maybe you will make a blog about living a simple life with like zero waste, or maybe you will actually be an environmental activist. But also when this card is upright, it is someone taking stones out of a river. Reversed, it might be someone putting stones back into a river. And so I think you might also do something where you will put things inside others, not in a sexual way, but more in a doctor performing surgery way, like doing heart transplants and things like that. You could also for some of you, this could be plastic surgery, like someone who puts silicone and Botox inside people's bodies. And so I don't know, that just came through. I don't know about that, but so with the Three of Wands here, this is again like confirmation that your life purpose might have something to do with traveling, but well, also hunting for some reason. So there's a woman here hunting a buffalo. So it could be something with hunting as well. But well, there's also an ancestor here in the background dancing. So it could also be confirmation about the dancing thing. So but it does, the hunting part does somewhat correlate with the whole nature thing. The thing about wanting a more simple life out in nature. And so, well, I don't know. So, but I think I have a feeling that this reading was a bit all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of, but that may actually make sense with the Two of Stones reversed, because that can also mean that you might have more than one life purpose. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to do a lot of different things throughout your life. You're not supposed to do just one thing for the rest of your life. You will change it up regularly, which will be exciting for you. And but like I don't see like one straight life path for you, like one purpose that you're meant to be doing. I think you are supposed to do a lot of different things, and so that's what I see for you, group number 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. So group number 3, you chose this tanzanite, and so I will start with a channeled message, and then I will proceed to your cards. And so the first thing that comes through is it's coming through very strongly. It's something to do with science. Absolutely. Something with science, engineering, technology, astronomy, math, or physics. I think you are highly intelligent people, and you might even invent or discover something really great in the future, and I'm really happy for you because that's quite exciting. I also heard hieroglyphs, so your life purpose could also be to translate ancient texts. You might also be good at analyzing symbols. Greek also came in, so maybe you will translate Greek texts. I think like I do sense that you have something genius about you, actually, which is quite great for you. Like, that's awesome. But maybe there is a downside to this as well. Like, maybe you like as the saying goes, like there's a thin line between genius and insanity, and so I think you might have some mental illness. Mostly I think it could be depression or bipolar disorder, borderline disorder, or ADD. I think with the ADD thing, I think you might be a bit scatterbrained, or is it shatterbrained? I think it's scatterbrained, but I'm not sure. Now sorry. Well, English is not my first language, of course, and it's actually not my second language either. It's my third language, so I'm trying my best. Sorry, but you might have a lot of chaos in your brain, which is also where your brilliant ideas are formed. It's because of your chaotic brain that you get these brilliant ideas. But but I think you might not even notice your brilliant ideas yourself, and that might be a problem for you. You have such a brilliant mind that you don't actually know what you do that is brilliant and what is not brilliant, and so you might have experienced that you wrote an assignment when you were in school, or maybe you are in school now, and so maybe this is also resonating with you now, but maybe it's not. But and you did, like when you wrote this assignment, and you like you might have felt like it didn't really it wasn't really anything special, that it was just a normal assignment, and then a teacher might have really responded to it with awe and praised you a lot for what you did, and the next time you had to write an assignment, you felt a lot of pressure to do the same thing as you did in the last assignment, but you didn't actually know what made your last assignment so great. So it might be really hard for you to know what it is you do that's great, so that you can continue to do that. But because you you don't really see your own greatness, and I think it's sometimes like the universe makes jokes on us where like the most brilliant people can't see that brilliance themselves, and so they like are hindered in actually sharing it with others because they are oblivious to it themselves. And it's well it's just I don't know. So, but also I think the fact that you are oblivious to your own brilliance actually shines through your assignments and your work as well, because I think you have a tendency to focus on the wrong things. You might write something brilliant, but then you start writing an assignment, and then you realize that you're like you might write your you might start your assignment and then write something really brilliant, and then you will shift your focus to something that's much less brilliant, and then you will write the rest of the assignment about that less brilliant thing, and people will end up like wanting more of the first part you wrote, but like you don't know how to focus on the part that people actually are interested in, because you don't know what it is you do that is so brilliant. It's like you might also have a you might also have a tendency to write a really really good assignment or paper, and then at the end you need to conclude the whole paper, and then you conclude it in a faulty or wrong way, and people like it's why, but it's because you actually you don't know how to highlight the important parts of what you wrote, because you don't know what the important part or the great parts of the assignment was. You don't know what you need to focus on in the conclusion. You don't know what to conclude, because like you and so that it's quite frustrating actually. So but you are so smart, it's so annoying. Sorry. But so but like honestly, I'm really humbled to be in your like presence, because I was the same way, but as you, but so there might also be a part of you where you like write something, and this I can relate to, but that that you might write something really really brilliant, and then you might also write a lot of stupid things, and that's like for example, the book A Criminal Man by Lombroso it's a book about criminals. Criminal men, of course. Well, there's also women in the. Well, it's a. Some people say that it's the first. It's what started criminology, but Lombroso actually wrote in his book A Criminal Man, wrote a chapter about how some intelligent criminals had a tendency to write an extremely brilliant paper, and then include something extremely stupid that would ruin the whole paper. And in a way, Lombroso did exactly that in exactly that book, which is quite kind of funny and meta and all that. But he wrote this amazing book with a lot of amazing descriptions of human behavior, but the book was a scandal because of like because of his focus on physical attributes, he argued that there was a pattern in the appearance of criminals, that you could tell if someone was a criminal from the size of their skull and the shape of their nose. And this part of the book made the book a laughing stock. And it's actually a shame, because if you look past all the stupid, you will find that many of the chapters are quite brilliant. So I think you might be the same way. You could also be interested in criminology, actually. I think like maybe you have an interest for like true crime. Maybe you see a lot of true crime shows, and but I also think, like, seriously, you could probably be really good in criminology. You would excel at anything, I think. But I think you might come from a very smart lineage. There might be quite a few, quite a lot of actually brilliant people in your family. But that also means that I think that there might be a lot of mental illness running in your family as well, and maybe a lot of suicides, actually, or suicide attempts. And your parents might be highly educated, and maybe you were also kind of pushed in that direction as a child. Maybe your parents encouraged you to learn things, like, well, most parents should probably do that, but like maybe learn smarter things. You might also have been pushed into playing an instrument, maybe violin, but especially classical music, I think. And maybe music is also a part of your life purpose, but I think you have I think it's not your your biggest purpose. Like, it may be a side thing, but I think you might have grown up with a lot of discipline, which you might have actually rebelled from as a teenager. I think like you. I see that you are a free spirit. You think outside the box, and I also think you are quite intuitive. And so I think you thrive. Like, you didn't thrive in an organized environment. I think you like to be disorganized. Actually, I think you like the chaos in a way. You like to just follow your intuition. You like to be inspired. I also think you are the type who goes into hyper focus a lot. You might become so interested in like one topic that you like research it day and night and forget to eat and sleep, and you get completely captivated by like one topic sometimes, and or one thing sometimes. And so but you might also like be a procrastinator, and I think sometimes you might actually procrastinate on purpose, like in the hopes that you will go into hyperfocus like the day before the deadline. I think yes, I think you might be really good under pressure. You might also be a bit passive. You might have a problem doing your own projects, like writing your own book, for example. Like you might need others in order to unlock your brilliance. Like, you have a treasure chest inside of you, and everyone else has a key, but not you. You don't have a key, and so you kind of wait along for others to lock you up. You can't lock yourself up and access the treasure yourself. You need someone to assign an assignment to you. You need someone to give you a task, and so you might feel like you have a writer's block right now, so that you can't seem to activate yourself. And I also think some of you, for some of you, it might be because you don't know your own talent, like I talked about before. You don't want to write a book because you can't see how you are different from all other authors. You don't know what makes you special and what makes you stand out and makes you brilliant, and that's such a shame, really. And so I think you need to find out what that is, what it is that makes you stand out. You need to dedicate time and energy into actually pinpointing what it is, because I think it's really worth the time and the effort, because you what you do is so different from everyone else. And I think when you realize that, I think you will have a lot of success. So let's draw some cards. So the first card is Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, Five of Wands. Okay. 10 of Cups reversed. Okay. And Judgment. Okay, so, well, 2 aces. Great. Awesome. Many great opportunities, many great ideas, many smart ideas, many financially good ideas for like career and for like education. Really good, amazing actually. And so yeah, I think with this Five of Wands, I think there will well, it's not negative actually, because like I think you are just meant to challenge people. You are meant to challenge people's mind and perception of things. Maybe things we all believe to be true. I think you are supposed to swim against the stream, and swimming against the stream will, of course, make you meet a lot of opponents, and of course this might cause some conflicts, and as you will be challenging the status quo, many people will disagree with you, of course, and that's also a good thing, because then the more people who disagree with you, the more you know that you might be actually changing something. Like, don't take it as a bad thing. Take it as a sign that you are doing something different and you are daring to do that, and that's pretty special. And so I think with the Judgment card here, I think that maybe I know this sounds bad, but maybe you will be like all the brilliant people actually who was like, and that's most people. You might most brilliant people, like famous people from the past, they were all hated in their lifetime, but praised after their death. And maybe you are just ahead of your time. I think it's actually very likely that you are, and that's not a bad thing, but it's not the nicest. Like, it will not give you a lot of happiness in your life. Sorry to say that, but it will be important that you actually do the things you do, because it will change the world. And I also think you know that you know that you need to sacrifice some things to change the world. And so I think maybe there were also people in your lineage where who were ahead of their time, who had ideas that others perceived as crazy, but actually weren't crazy at all. They just arrived a century too early. I think you can rest assured that you will have an impact on this world. You will change people's perspective, and I think this is more. This is so much more valuable than fame and recognition in your lifetime. But well, with the Ten of Cups in reverse, I hate to say this, but I think maybe it is not a part of your life purpose to have an ordinary family life. I think you will have an unconventional life. I think your life purpose might just be too important. You are destined to do something great that will change the world, and sometimes that it will lead to a sacrifice, and that sacrifice might be an ordinary family life. And I'm not saying you won't have a family. I'm just saying that it won't be like a conventional family life. It might also just, maybe it's in a more positive way. It could be that you might not have like this simple life out on the countryside with a big garden where the kids can run around and play, and maybe it's just saying that you will live in the city, and that there will that will not be a part of your city life. And so, but that's what I see for you, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this amethyst, and so I will start with the channeled message, and then I will proceed to the cards. And so I saw a cross the first, so maybe your life purpose might be within the church, or something to do with religion. You might actually be studying theology. That might only be one of you, but I also get something about a choir. So I don't know if you will be in charge of a choir or lead a choir, but I mostly think it comes through quite clearly that you might, your life purpose might be to help people, especially people in need. I think mostly like alcoholics and drug addicts. Maybe you have had a history with addiction yourself. Maybe you actually are fighting an addiction right now, and if that's the case, I think in the future you will actually get sober and help others out of their addictions. And I think for some of you, you might be spiritual, you might actually be psychic mediums, and so that might be the root to your problem with addiction. Maybe you realized that you could numb your addiction, numb your gift with an addiction, like numb your gift with alcohol or drugs. I think as soon as you start seeing your gift as a gift and not a curse, you might actually be able to work with it and manage it, and manage it in a way where it doesn't have to have such a huge impact on your life. And I think you will share this gift with others in the future, and even if you won't, if you won't actually be a psychic as a full-time job or something like that, you will still be able to use this gift in whatever field you choose. It is especially really beneficial in professions where you help and care for others, because you might be able to use your gift to know what people need in order to heal. And much of that is also because you have been through the ringer yourself. I think you have had a rough life, and you have a ton of experience. You are probably best in fields where you need to help people out of crisis, because you have yourself experienced a lot of crisis in your life. And if it is addictions you have struggled with, I see that you will be a really amazing sponsor. You will change a lot of people's lives that way. I also heard I heard damsel in distress, and I guess that's a pun. So like I don't want to explain the joke, but like dram is like alcohol, and strong alcohol, and so damsel in distress. Okay, so so that's really not my joke. Please, but it just came in. So either my spirit guides are cracking jokes right now, or you made this joke, and if that's the case, well, you're pretty funny. So I like you, but yeah, well, so but you might be a bit of an alcoholic, and you might be someone who needs saving, like a damsel in distress. But okay, sorry, I'm not going to keep on explaining that joke. But I also think you will be saved quite soon, actually, because I get the sense that there is actually a marriage coming up pretty soon for you, and I think this person will actually be quite wealthy, and this person might even be well known in a way. But I think you will have a lot of wealth. I'm not sure you will be the one who earns it though, but I think it will open a lot of possibilities for you, and it will make it possible for you to do sponsorships and charity work, which will help a lot of people. It will create a platform for you to share your experiences with others. Also, if you are considering like writing a book about your experiences, your future spouse will support you financially while you write it, and this financial stability you will get from your, well, it could also, like, you might also have so much financial stability, like from your spouse, that you will actually be able to pursue a spiritual career, because you won't be so focused on the financial aspects of it. You can develop it without any rush, and it won't be the end of the world if you don't see profit right away, because you will have financial support from your spouse. And so I will draw some cards. So the first card is King of Wands. The second card is Five of Wands, and the Sun, and Two of Pentacles, and Two of Wands, and Five of Swords. So with the King of Wands here, that could be the spouse I was talking about. The spouse could be a Leo, Aries or Sagittarius, but this could also be you, because I think with if you look at the picture, like this king has earned his crown through a lot of hardship, like and so I think your crown will be twigs from the same tree where your wooden legs and arms came from. I think all the experiences you have gone through, all the hardship, will be what will earn you success. You will get success when you share your stories with others. Also with the 5 of Wands, I think the squirrel has created a shelter, and so maybe you will actually make or work at an actual shelter for homeless people, for example, or something like that in the future. And so also maybe a crisis center for like women who has abusive partners or something like that. And so I think with the sun here, I think you will create a lot of optimism and happiness. You will help people see the light at the end of the tunnel. Also with the two of Pentacles here, there is also a sun shining light on the skull here, and also on the painting. If you look at the painting of, like here, if you can see it, you can see there is like a manual drawn on the skull here, and it says like that if you crack the skull, there is a bag of money inside. And so I think this is also saying that when you take out all the skeletons in the closet and share them with the world, that is where your money will come. The money is hiding within the darkest parts of yourself. But also as the skull, as the pictures on the skull says, when you crack open like this skull, there will be storm clouds, and so I think you will once again feel hardship. You will feel exposed and naked, and you will feel like you have made a huge mistake from sharing all your deepest, darkest secrets with the world. But as you see here, the crops on the earth, they are dying. The ground is dried up. Nothing is blossoming. The storm cloud is needed. The storm clouds are needed in order to make the flowers grow. And so there might come a turbulent time right after you expose yourself to the public, but it is necessary for you in order for you to grow this beautiful garden. And so also with the creepy twins here, like I also see I always see the creepy twins from The Shining when I see this card. And so I think you might this might be confirmation that you might see dead people. You might have a gift as a medium. Also with the ghosts flying around here in this picture. And so I think there might be a quite a big chance that you are actually a medium, and so this might also be the sorrow you will help people out with. You might help people get in contact with their loved ones who have passed away, and so with the 5 of Swords here, for some weird reason, it is of course reversed, but for some weird reason, I see this as a vagina. I'm not sure if I'm the only person who sees it that way, but like, can you see it? Like, here would be the clitoris, and then the lips of the, yeah. So you might you with this card being reversed, you can see that the swords that would have been in, well, I'm sorry this is getting so graphic, but like the swords that would be in the private part of, well, that's getting out when it's reversed, that is getting pulled out. And so I think that's a symbolic way, metaphorical way of like saying that you will maybe help women who has experienced sexual abuse, and maybe you have experienced sexual abuse yourself, and so maybe you can relate to these women, and I think so you might that might be a big, you might also, well, share your story about this abuse, and that will, and many people will relate to that story, and it will help them to not feel so alone with their experiences when they read that you have experienced something similar. And so I also heard for some of you eating disorders, but so maybe you have had an eating disorder, and so maybe that's also something you will help people who who are struggling with an eating disorder. And so you might also, with the twins here, you might be a Gemini, but you might also collaborate with a woman in the future. Maybe you will meet someone who has gone through something similar as you, and maybe you will hold lectures together with this person, and or you might even write a book together. And so that's what I see for you, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.